Oh my gosh! You are not going to believe this tea I'm about to spill. Big Meech thought he was making this genius power move by linking up with Rick Ross, but honey, he's learning the hardest lesson about loyalty in this cutthroat industry. After turning his back on 50 Cent and running straight into Ross's arms, Meech is fresh out of prison with nothing but cold, bitter betrayal waiting for him. At first, Rick Ross was all sweet talk and promises, showing Meech all kinds of love and swearing he'd put him back on his feet. But the second that deal fell through, Ross wiped his hands clean and ran straight back to his own business like Meech never existed.
Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
Now poor Meech is standing completely alone, betrayed by the very man he thought had his back. He's finally realizing the streets move nothing like they used to. The game has completely changed while he was locked up.
I never folded, never told, never will. Death before the sun.
But seriously, why would Rick Ross flip on Big Meech like that? And is 50 Cent really pulling all the strings behind the scenes? Trust me, this story goes so much deeper than you think, and things are about to get messy. Let's dive into all this drama, because let's be real for a second. If Meech could betray 50 that easily after everything he's done to keep his name alive with the BMF show, then maybe he was just a bad seed waiting to expose himself all along. The word on the streets is that Meech is absolutely scrambling, desperately looking for someone to blame for why his legacy concert completely flopped and why no one's rushing to help him back on his feet. And who better to point the finger at than the man who gassed him up and left him hanging, Rick Ross.
And we 2 days away from the Big Meech concert. Get your tickets right now. Make sure everybody flying to the city for this. It's gonna be huge.
When you really break it down, Meech was just a pawn in Rick Ross's game. Ross never wanted to help Meech. He wanted to humiliate 50 Cent and snatch the whole BMF legacy for himself.
Look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film.
But the second things got messy, Ross disappeared, leaving Meech high and dry. Now Meech is out here trying to play the victim, but the truth is, he played himself. And if there's one thing the streets don't forgive, it's a man who switches sides the moment someone waves a little money in front of him. But how deep does this betrayal really go? Is 50 Cent really sitting back watching all this unfold with this smug grin on his face, knowing he got rid of a snake without even lifting a finger? Honestly, the streets are saying 50 might have pulled some strings to get Big Meech's Welcome Back concert shut down.
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? When Skilla don't show up? When Fizzo don't show up? When all these show up?
But let's keep it 100. Why would 50 even need to get his hands dirty when Meech was already setting himself up for failure? The snitching rumors were already spreading like wildfire. The concert was giving desperate vibes instead of legacy energy. And if there's one thing 50 knows how to do, it's sit back and let his enemies destroy themselves. Just 2 hours before the show was supposed to pop off, the Amrit Bank Arena pulled the plug out of nowhere. Their official statement said, "Due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show has been canceled. Refunds will be made at point of purchase." No explanation, no warning, just straight up embarrassment for Meech. And guess who was sitting back watching it all unfold like he already knew exactly how this story would end? 50 Cent.
Big Meech's giant welcome home concert
I told you it was
canceled.
What'd I tell you?
The bill was
What did
insane.
I say?
The list of artists on it was...
Before the concert even got announced, 50 was out here telling everybody it would never happen. And now that he's been proven right, he's doing what he does best, being the pettiest villain in the game. He posted the canceled flyer like it was a Grammy trophy with a caption so slick it might as well have come with a cigar and a gold chain. "I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am." Now, if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. Because 50 doesn't deny anything. He just makes sure you know he's always 2 steps ahead. Then he hit Instagram again, acting all apologetic. If you bought an outfit and was ready to turn up, I apologize for whoever's responsible. Let's be real. That's pure villain behavior. Lil Meech tried to pull the loyalty card on 50 Cent to keep the concert alive, but that strategy completely backfired. Season 4 of BMF has been canceled, and it's not hard to see why. 50 Cent recently posted Lil Meech's private text messages, and they have become the absolute center of attention. In the messages, Lil Meech claims he would give 50 the shirt off his back while simultaneously defending his father's connection to Rick Ross. The most shocking part? Lil Meech admitted Rick Ross gave Big Meech money to cover his bills until the next season of BMF begins. They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram, and now you managing Skilla Baby with Rocket when I brought him around you first when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you? I can't believe this man. You act like I'm your enemy. I've only ever showed you love and loyalty. I go through my own ish, but I never switched up on you. F. Ross. But he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. Big Meech not only aligned himself with 50 Cent's biggest enemy, but now is financially dependent on Rick Ross. Ross appears to be manipulating the situation behind the scenes by providing financial support while driving a wedge between Big Meech and 50 Cent. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is not holding back. He's now taking direct shots at Big Meech's parenting, calling him out for how he handled Lil Meech's future. Recently, a social media post resurfaced old footage of Lil Meech with Rick Ross's daughter, Toy Roberts. This situation goes back years, and 50 Cent wasted no time adding his thoughts. He openly questioned why Rick Ross, who is now suddenly aligning himself with Big Meech, never stepped in to help Lil Meech when it actually mattered. 50 Cent pointed out that Ross and the people surrounding Big Meech did nothing for Lil Meech's future, while he was the one who paid for him to attend acting school and establish himself in the industry. He directly called out Meech's priorities, saying that instead of ensuring his son's success, he came home acting like the Black Pablo Escobar and ultimately ruined things for him. This situation has gone way beyond just a rap feud. It has turned into a complete betrayal. Big Meech, who once had 50 Cent's backing, made a choice that pushed him further into isolation. Now the damage has been done, and 50 is making it crystal clear that he is not one to forget. This feud with Ross adds another layer to the chaos. Their beef stretches back to 2008, fueled by diss tracks, legal battles, and one infamous lawsuit that cost 50 a cool $7 million. Ross took another shot last year calling 50 broke, but if history has proven anything, it's that 50 never lets things slide, and neither does he deal lightly with betrayal.
I can't believe a stand-up dude doing his time would suddenly say, I don't want to be here no more. I'm gonna become a rat.
Now the drama is threatening more than just egos. It's putting 50's business at risk. Word is this might be the final season of BMF, a show tied to his $150 million Starz deal. Walking away from that money would hurt most people, but 50? He plays the long game. If he built it once, he'll do it again. Because once you cross him, there's no turning back. And this is where the whole situation starts looking real shady. 50 Cent didn't just pull the snitch allegations out of nowhere. Rumors about Big Meech cutting a deal with the feds have been floating around for a while now, long before 50 said anything. There were already whispers that Meech might have flipped, and at the center of it all was Tammy Cowens, a woman Meech considered a close friend, but who was also known as a federal informant. Tammy allegedly played a key role in helping Meech negotiate the deal that shaved years off his sentence. But let's not kid ourselves. Meech wasn't walking out of prison early without giving the feds something major in return. And that something? It was his longtime friend and business partner, Dion Gatling, better known as Cuffy.
By one of his best friends, which is Demetrius Flannery, also known as Big Meech.
Cuffy and Meech have been tight for years, running business together long before Meech got locked up. But according to Cuffy's daughter, Tamara Gatling, their whole family was blindsided when they found out Meech was the one who set Cuffy up.
In 2011, around that time, Meech reached out to my dad in regards to creating a BMF.
They only pieced it together after identifying one of the confidential informants involved in the case. And guess whose name kept showing up in the paperwork? Big Meech! It gets even messier. To smooth things over, Meech had personally connected Cuffy with Tammy Cowens, who wasn't just some random associate. She was Meech's power of attorney and literally owned the rights to his life story at the time. Cuffy, trusting his old friend, thought he was stepping into a legitimate opportunity. Instead, he ended up behind bars. Once the discovery documents started rolling in, it became clear that CS1, the confidential informant, was none other than Tammy Cowens. But everyone knew Tammy wasn't moving without Meech's blessing. When the Gatling family confronted Meech about the situation, he brushed them off like it was just a big misunderstanding. But the more they dug, the more the truth started coming out. Tammy may have been the one wearing the wire, but there's no way she was working behind Meech's back.
Dude, quit playing with dude. You know, I'm gonna say that much. Over and out. I catch y'all when I catch y'all. It's buck.
But if there's one thing we know about 50 Cent, it's that he doesn't do second chances. His response? Absolutely ruthless. He wasted no time clowning young Buck, dragging him for his past controversies. "This fool fell out with me because he liked boys," 50 Cent wrote. "I didn't tell him to go loving on a tranny. He couldn't resist like that. Busy." Now the haters are out in full force, accusing 50 of being a culture vulture and stirring up drama just to sabotage promotions. But if you really break it down, who's actually benefiting from all this mess?
So BMF is BMF, but not because of 50, it's because of Big Meech, right? That's his story, that's his life, right? So I don't think 50 doing them no favors. They both profited, right?
Both sides have made serious money off the BMF name. Big Meech's story turned into a whole TV series, putting his legacy on the map for a new generation. Meanwhile, Lil Meech landed a career that wouldn't even exist without 50's backing. Yet somehow, 50 is the one catching heat for calling out the truth.
Now, oh, you know, loyalty. That mean I can't go get money elsewhere, right? If more money get presented to me, right, I'm gonna go get me a bag. I just did 20 years in prison, right? I'm not gonna let nobody stop no bags come in because of y'all beef, bro.
At the core of it, this whole situation isn't about clout or promotions. It's about loyalty. And if there's one thing everybody knows about 50 Cent, it's that he doesn't tolerate betrayal. He stood by the BMF family, gave Lil Meech an opportunity, and helped him become something more than just his father's son. But the second it became convenient, they switched up. Now 50 is making it crystal clear. There's no coming back from that. How bad is it? The same Lil Meech who was living the high life on BMF sets is now out here begging for paid promotions for $500. That's not even rent money. That's pocket change compared to the fat checks 50 was cutting him. One minute he's living the Hollywood dream, the next he's scrambling for side hustles just to make ends meet.
What up, though? Boss of all bosses. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got, you trying to make it go up, hit me right now.
And you already know 50 isn't letting that slide. If there's one thing about 50 Cent, he's always going to get the last laugh. This whole situation is turning into one of the messiest hip-hop betrayals we've seen in a minute. Big Meech thought loyalty was everything until the same people he trusted started playing both sides. Now, with Rick Ross cozying up to 50 Cent and Lil Meech out here hustling for pennies, it's looking like the entire BMF legacy is crumbling right before our eyes. But what do you all think? Did Big Meech bring this on himself by flipping on his own people? Or is 50 just exposing the truth that everyone's been too scared to say out loud? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for all the latest tea. This drama is far from over, so stay locked in.